Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
Through the night, deep in the heart of Texas, the trailer park is nice and dark. Deep in the heart of Texas, Ted drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to a King of the Hill Rewatch podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty. And you're who?
Mason.
There we go. There's
Mason.
Mason.
So we are at a Friday in the year of our Lord 2023.
2023.
Nutty. We just dated this episode. So we are going to continue with this season 2.
Our second episode of the new year.
Yeah. This will be our season 2.
Well, actually, technically third.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
you're right.
We had the episode on day 1 of the year.
So we are covering the guest stars on King of the Hill season 2. This is part 2 of that because it's such a extensive list.
It is. It was a really big list. We didn't think it was going to be that big, but we started going through it, and sure enough, it was more than one episode worth of voices.
Yeah, there are a lot of people in this thing. So let's start with the unbearable blindness of laying. We have 3 different people in this one, and this is a big one to start. We have Chuck Mangione.
Chuck Mangione, which we have discussed him at length multiple times.
Flugelhorn, correct?
So he is a flugelhorn player.
Yeah. Chuck Mangione, big in the 70s. Did
big on King of the Hill.
Did a few songs. Yep. I think he did a fine job on this show, and I think it's so funny that they include him as like part of the crowd.
Superb job. Yeah.
Then we get Carl Reiner as Gary Kasner again.
Carl Reiner, yeah.
Or
we talked about him.
Yeah, this is again, right? This is the second time.
This is again. Yeah, we've talked about Carl Reiner before.
And then,
Carl Reiner's popped up because he plays the voice of Stepdad
Gary.
Stepdad King of the Hill. Gary Chandler.
No,
his name?
Gary
Not Chandler.
Kasner.
That's an actual human being.
Gary Kasner, yeah. And then the biggest one, I think, as Tilly Hill, Tammy Wynette.
Tammy Wynette, yeah.
Tammy Wynette, famous
country singer. Just recently passed away. She was the coal miner's daughter.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. No,
that was.
She was.
No, that's not Tammy Wynette.
That's Loretta Lynn.
Yeah, that's Loretta Lynn. Yeah.
Tammy Wynette, never mind. Tammy Wynette was
a pet store's daughter.
Yeah, she was the pet store.
No, I don't know.
You don't know. You just saying.
I just made something up.
Well, she was a famous country singer. She died in '98.
She was huge.
She was huge. She, I want to say she had over 20 singles on the Billboard country chart during her career, which is huge. Her signature song, which for me, the biggest memory I have surrounding her signature song is The Blues Brothers. So in the movie The Blues Brothers, they end up they're blues musicians, but they end up at a country bar in this movie.
Yeah.
And they don't know any country songs.
Oh, you're talking about Stand By Your Man.
Stand By Your Man. So the only country songs that they knew were Stand By Your Man and Rawhide.
Yeah.
From that was on a TV show, right? Wasn't that like a theme song for a TV show?
Well, the song was also on the top 50, I think.
Yeah. That's
in the
Tammy
50s.
Wynette, born in Mississippi.
Yeah, she "Stand by Your Man" was her big song, and it's a hell of a song too. And to watch the Blues Brothers do it is
Her
is
dad was a
amazing.
cotton farmer, so she grew up picking cotton on the family farm in Mississippi.
That's cool. All right, so the next one we've got is one of my favorite episodes, which is Meet the Manger Babies. I know you're not a big fan of it, but it is one of my favorites.
It's a cringy episode.
We have Troy Aikman as himself,
Troy Aikman.
who just shows up for some reason at the Manger Babies.
He does, yeah, he's there.
We have Peebo Bryson as the anthem singer.
Peebo
Bryson. He was
okay. He's a singer, yeah.
R&B type singer.
Can you stop the rain?
He was pretty big at one point.
Yeah, he actually I want to say that he was in Aladdin. He sung some stuff in Aladdin. Yeah,
Did he?
he did. He did.
Really?
He contributed to two. It was two Disney featured soundtracks that he did. So he sang. Crud! A Whole New World.
Did he?
He sung A Whole
No,
New World.
come on.
He sung Beauty and the Beast with Celine Dion.
Really?
Yeah,
That's Peebo Bryson?
it's Peebo Bryson.
Wow. Much bigger than I thought he was.
He did 4 duets with Regina Bell for Disney. He did Without You, I Can't Imagine, A Whole New World, and Total Praise. And I think those were all in Aladdin. But that's Regina Bell.
And then we have Debbie Derryberry as Kid. I do not know Debbie Derryberry. D-E-B-I.
It says here-
D-E-R-R-Y. B-E-R-R-Y.
An American voice actress.
Debbie Derryberry.
She has provided voices for a number of animation and video games. So
Debbie Derryberry sounds like a character.
let's go
not
ahead and hit her
not a
real
person.
quick because she's
Prolific.
prolific as far as animation and stuff that I've watched personally. So you've got Bobby's World. You've got the Addams Family from the 90s. She was in All Real Monsters. She was in Life with Louie.
Oh, yeah.
She played Judy Shepard in the animated Jumanji show. She did some voices on Cow and Chicken. She was Misinformation on South Park, if anybody knows who that is on South Park. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Castle in the Sky, Curious George,
Wow.
Monster High, Be Cool Scooby Doo.
She is
F
the
for
person.
Family. There you go. That's one.
She
She
is the
plays
person
Maureen
that
Murphy
you-
in F is for Family.
She's kind of the person that you picture in your head when you say, I want to be like a voiceover artist.
Yeah,
thing, yeah.
and then it even goes to anime. She was in anime.
Yeah.
She did Tenchi, Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, Tenchi in Tokyo, Sailor Moon in the 2015. She played Diana in Sailor Moon. And then it even goes to film. She was in, she did voices in Aladdin. She did the puppies in Babe. In Toy Story, she was the aliens. She was the troll. She was the voice on the intercom at Pizza Planet. Again, she reprises the aliens in Toy Story 2. She did Jimmy Neutron in the movie Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
Wow.
Just prolific. She did
Good job,
tons of
Derryberry.
direct-to-video and
Debbie
television
Derryberry.
movies.
She's the original Jimmy?
No, not the original Jimmy. She played Jimmy in the movie.
She's Jimmy, too.
Well, the movie came first.
Did it?
Yeah.
Debbie Derryberry.
Oh, no, I take that back. The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Yes, she was the voice of Jimmy Neutron.
Debbie
I
Derryberry.
I overlooked that when I was scrolling through. And actually, she was the voice of JJ in JJ the Jet Plane.
Debbie Derryberry.
Debbie Derryberry.
She played Kid.
She did video games,
That
too.
was a character. Kid.
So let's hit her video games, because her video games is kind of prolific as far as video games for me. So she was in Crash Bandicoot.
She was the
Wrath
voice of the
Cortex.
ball and Pong.
She did Coco Bandicoot.
Uh-huh.
She played Jimmy Neutron's voice in a variety of games. She was in some Nicktoons games, of course, doing Jimmy Neutron's voice. She played Coco Bandicoot, which is over a lot of the Crash
Crash's little
video
sister.
games. Yeah,
That's
Crash's little sister. Yeah. She played
al-
Crash's little sister.
She also played the straight line in Tetris. She was.
Well, she's done every version of Jimmy Neutron's voice in every place he's ever popped up in video games, TV shows, movies. So I guess that's her claim to fame. She's Jimmy.
The last one on the Manger Babies episode, we've got Maurice LaMarche again as
Maurice
Reverend
LaMarche.
Thomason.
We've already talked about him.
Yeah, good God, Maurice LaMarche. He is very prolific, and he's with King of the Hill for a while.
Yep, and again, my favorite one of his is the Brain from Pinky and the Brain, which a lot of his voice actors, a lot of the voices that he does are kind of in the same vein as what's the person's name? It talked about it here. Orson Welles. So he used Orson Welles. He channeled Orson Welles for the Brain and for a few of his other characters too. You could see he uses the impression. So when he does Brain, that's what it is. It is a Welles impression. So
that's very good. Yeah, Orson Welles was something else.
Well, if you have ever watched Pinky and the Brain, like actually watched it, a lot of the episodes kind of have hints and nods to things that Orson Welles was attached to during his
they have
career.
a lot of old film stuff too.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
next
an
one.
amazing show, by the way. The
It's
whole
okay.
Animaniacs
It's
thing,
okay.
and I think it was
sorry.
because of it was amazing for me as a child. Anyway, I think it was because of who created it. It was a Steven Spielberg creation.
Yeah, it was an Amblin Entertainment thing.
It was definitely a very. You could tell that whoever created that show was a huge fan of film and cinema.
Yes,
in whatever
absolutely.
era.
Well, I think that whole series, it was all like throwback because it's on the lot, and all that stuff. They're on the Warner Brothers lot. There is nothing better though than them singing the capitals of cities and stuff.
Yeah. And one of the things that I didn't know, which is kind of funny, is he actually voiced Alec Baldwin in Team America World Police.
Oh, really?
If you ever seen that, he was actually Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually did Alec Baldwin's voice in that. So
Next one is I Remember Mono. This is the one where Peggy gets mono, and she has to end up telling Hank about it finally.
yeah, that was a good episode.
We get Joanna Gleason as Maddie Platter, and then we get Jennifer Jason Leigh, who was a fairly decent star as far as Brat Pack stuff goes when I was a kid. She is Amy, and then you get the one and only Carrie Strug as herself from the Olympics, because Bobby doesn't he give her a flower?
Yeah, something
What
like
is
that.
it?
Yeah, he was in love with her. All right,
love
so we'll
you,
start with the
Carrie
top.
Strug.
You mentioned Joanna Gleason first.
Yes.
So she's a Canadian. She's Canadian.
Canuck.
But not only that, she is Tony Award-winning musical theatrical actress, and she's been in a few notable things. So what she's best known for was originating the role of the baker's wife in the Stephen Sondheim's Into the Woods. That's where she actually gets her Tony from. But she's been in films, too. She was in Woody Allen's Hannah and Her Sisters, Woody Allen's Crime and Misdemeanors she was in as well.
Yeah.
She was also in Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights.
Oh, wow.
And then she had various roles on Friends, The West Wing, The Good
Who
Wife.
was she in
and The
Boogie
Affair.
Nights?
In Boogie Nights, let's see. She was Dirk's mom in Boogie Nights.
Dirk
she
Dickler.
played Dirk Dickler's mom, yeah. And she also she did some. So for her film, she didn't play in a lot of stuff, but she was in Mr. Holland's Opus. That was the one that I know. Heartburn. Never heard that
I'm gonna
one.
tell you. I'm gonna tell everybody a big secret.
What's that?
Oh wait, that's the wrong film. Never mind. I'm not telling you a secret.
Wrong secret.
Jennifer Jason Leigh, is she not the one that was in Howard the Duck?
Jennifer Jason Leigh was
Isn't that correct?
Let's see here. She was in. You said Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
That's gonna be a big filmography.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah. She was in it. She's been in a ton of stuff.
Nah,
and
she
still
wasn't in
is.
Howard the Duck. It doesn't show that on there.
She was in The Hateful Eight. That's all I've ever seen her in.
Yeah,
Really?
She's
so
in
what
a
I
lot of
know that
stuff
she
I
was
watch.
in, she was in that Fast Times. She played Stacy in Fast Times at
Yeah,
Ridgemont High.
yeah.
That's the one I know.
Yeah.
She played in let's see, Backdraft. That's one I remember. That was the firefighter movie with what's his name, Kurt Russell. She was in that.
It's Leah Thompson, who I was thinking
Yeah,
of.
Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
She was in Single White Female. That movie, I remember that
Yeah,
movie.
that was a big one.
She was in Rush. I remember that one. Let's see here. I don't really. Hey Arnold. She played in the Hey Arnold movie. She was a voice in it. Road to Perdition. That's one of a good Tom Hanks movie she was in. She was in The Machinist, which is a really
Machinist is a good one where what's his face lost all that weight.
Yeah, Christopher Bale. It's a really good
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yeah. It's a really good character.
She's also in Dolores Claiborne.
Oh, okay. She was in that one. All right. So she was also in what was a really, really, really award-winning movie that was done by, I want to say, it was a Quentin Tarantino movie. It was Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh. It had...
I said The Hateful Eight.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Oh,
First
okay.
one I mentioned.
Oh, that was the first one you said. I didn't hear you say
Yeah.
that. My bad. I misheard what you said. So yeah, she was in the Hateful Eight. Yeah. And she was nominated for she was nominated for every supporting actress role from every film association you could think of. You've got the Academy Award, the Golden Globe, the BAFTA, the AACTA, the Austin Film Critics, the Awards Circuit Community Awards, the Broadcast Film Critics, Central Ohio, Chicago, Dallas-Fort Worth, Denver, Detroit, Florida, Georgia. She was on every award list for Best Supporting Actress of the Year in 2015.
She's been in a lot of stuff. I just remember her as kind of part of that Brat Pack.
Well, another
back
movie
then.
that's really, really good of hers. I don't know if you've seen it yet, Mike, but it's a Bryan Cranston film, LBJ, where Bryan Cranston plays
I
Lyndon
haven't
Baines
watched
Johnson.
that, yeah.
You need to go watch that one. She plays Lady Bird in that.
Really?
Yeah, she plays Lady
She was
Bird
on
Johnson.
Weeds for a while too. Weeds is a great show. That was a very good.
That was an
TV
amazing show. That
Yeah.
was a really, really good show. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she was on there for like 3 years.
I tried watching Weeds.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. I'm not hating on it.
She was her sister,
I
right?
started watching it for a bit just because my mom and her roommates at the time watched it.
Right.
I was like, oh, this seems interesting. What is it about? And I couldn't follow it. I was
What's
too
about
dumb
weed?
at the time.
It's just about weed.
Yeah. It's just.
I didn't know what weed was.
Well,
Oh,
okay, I got
see.
you. So
Why are they fighting over these grass clippings?
That show came out at the height of my excitement about weed, like right when I graduated high school.
My
and I realized,
excitement about weed.
Well, I mean, I graduated high school, and like once you graduate high school, it was like that big lift of, oh, my parents aren't in control of my life anymore, And I watched the crap out of that show. That was one of my favorite shows on TV at the time.
What else has Carrie Strug been in anything else?
Carrie Strug, well, she's got some popular culture stuff. She did a
90210.
cameo in 90210.
Clueless.
She was in. She was referenced in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She was referenced in BoJack Horseman.
Touched by an Angel.
Yeah. She was referenced in Community. They referenced her in Murphy Brown.
Yeah.
She was referenced in.
That's kind of cool though.
Roseanne.
I mean, she, the thing that she was known for was the gymnastics stuff in the Olympics.
Yeah. Well,
she's
there's
the
a
one
Roseanne
that broke
joke.
She's the one that broke her ankle and then finished anyway and was carried off by her Russian
Which
trainer.
is crazy, yeah. But she was there's a Roseanne joke. So Roseanne, there's an episode called Roseanne-Bo where she flips the roof off of a train car, or she flips off the roof of a train car and lands on her feet. And when she lands, Roseanne says, "Eat your heart out, Carrie Strug." So she's in that, and she actually has a voice cameo in a. I've never heard of this. It's a spin-off of Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, called Bird Girl.
Yeah, it's a story. It's his
never
daughter
seen
takes
that.
over.
That
Oh,
has
wow.
to be new, right?
It's new. It's I think it's still going. They only started like 2018, I think.
So
It's on HBO Max.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out then because I
This
really
is
liked
good plug
Harvey
for
Birdman
HBO
a lot.
Max, then.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Well, they've the one. Well, you got to think HBO Max has all the Hanna-Barbera stuff, and Bird Girl is all Hanna-Barbera
oh, sure. Yeah.
stuff.
All right, next we have 3 days at the condo, or of the condo. We have Castulo Guerrera as the magistrate, but the biggest one, I believe, here is Paul Rodriguez as Jacinto.
Oh, P-Rod. I know his son more than him. So his son is a professional skateboarder, and
He was a big comedian
how I
in
know
the
him.
80s.
yeah,
80s,
so
90s.
P-Rod.
He
Yeah,
did real
I've
well.
never. The only thing that I've ever seen him in is in 2002. Coming up off of the original Kings of Comedy, it was Bernie Mac, and that movie, The Kings of Comedy, had Bernie Mac, and
It was a whole tour.
yeah, it was a whole tour. Well,
Yeah.
in response to that, the Latin comedians
Yes,
did one, and it's
yes.
called the original Latin Kings of
Yeah,
Comedy,
yeah, I
and he
remember
was
that.
in that, and that's the first place I ever seen him because it was
Paul
it was
Rodriguez
like
was
all
around
the
for a long time, though.
big, yeah, it was like all the big Latin comedians. You had Paul Rodriguez. It was like George Lopez, Joey Medina, and Alex Raimundo. And I don't know. I think that was a really good movie. If you like stand up comedy, I feel like you gotta go watch that one.
Castulo Guerrera, we talked about him on the last episode.
Yeah,
like
we
this,
did.
and he's been in Terminator 2, Usual Suspects, The Mexican. He's been in a lot of stuff, and he does a lot of voices, especially for like Deathstroke, I believe.
Yeah. He was also in The Usual Suspects. He was in Terminator 2. The critically acclaimed Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2. Roger and Ebert gave that one about 4,000 thumbs up.
Sure, they gave him all the dog thumbs.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece.
Watch traffic fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas.
Next, we have Traffic Jam. This one, of course,
Traffic
is the
Jam.
big one with Chris Rock in it as Roger Budasak.
Wait, who?
Chris Rock.
I don't know.
Chris
I was
Rock.
gonna say something stupid. Never mind.
Well,
we all know who Chris Rock is.
yeah, we all know who Chris Rock is.
Will
And
Smith's
me and
punching
Mike
bag.
me and Mike actually have gotten to have an interview and speak with Chris Rock's ex-publicist.
Yeah, that's true.
Somebody that's real close with him and that's worked with him a lot in our Letterman endeavor that we were on at the beginning of the year. We got to talk to
Man,
him
I started working here too late.
just a little bit.
We spoke to a guy who saw Chris Rock one time.
Yeah, no, we
It's
actually
that's
we
good.
actually spoke to somebody who could call Chris Rock from their cell phone.
Yeah.
Like shout out to Nicole and Jay Ryan from California.
You know, the other big name in this is John Amos. John Amos was a huge African-American actor. He was in Coming to America and Die Hard 2. He's been in a bunch of stuff. And John Amos is one of those guys that
John Amos.
when you see his face, you know who he is.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I know
he's that
exactly who he
guy,
is. I don't
right?
even have to see his face. I know
I
who he
mean,
is because he was on Good Times. He was
you've
James
s-
Senior
yeah,
on Good
exactly.
Times.
Yeah, you've
That's
seen him
where I
in
know
a
him from.
billion things.
He's one of my favorite because he was in Coming to America too, and that was funny as hell. That was super funny. His role in that, but he's prolific. He was a Broadway guy, and he was actually on the Mary Tyler Moore Show,
Yes, he was.
and he was also on the West Wing too. He was Admiral Percy Fitzwallace.
Then we
the West
have
Wing.
Amy Hill, who played Mrs. Kaliki.
Which Amy Hill, guys, is she is most notable for she played a character on That's So Raven, but I feel like the most notable stuff for me would be she was Mama Toru on Jackie Chan. She was Miss Hasagawa on Lilo and Stitch, the TV series. And a lot of these TV series that I named that I had to watch were generally because my little sister at the time was attached to different shows and stuff, because I've seen shows that generally a teenage boy wouldn't watch, but since I was a teenage boy with a sister who was 6 years younger than me,
Sure.
I had to watch a lot of crap that I didn't want to. But she also she played Miss Kwan in Cat in the Hat, but the most notable role for me that she played in was Sue in 50 First Dates. So in 50 First Dates, Adam Sandler goes to this restaurant once he realizes that this girl she loses her mind every 24 hours, and one of the people that's trying to protect her is a woman named Sue, and she plays a Samoan restaurant. They own this restaurant, and they try to protect her from him. But she's been in a fair amount of stuff.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
She generally plays an Asian role in everything that she's played in, because she is she's also a
I think she's
stand-up comedian.
Islander, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
No, actually,
Pacific
she was
Islander.
born in Deadwood, South Dakota.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But
I think her heritage, though, is Pacific Island.
I think she has a Pacific Islander heritage. It doesn't really say anything
So-
about it here. Oh, she is a Japanese American. So she
Oh,
was
okay.
born to a Japanese mother and a Finnish American father.
Gotcha.
And her father actually died in 1979 in an automobile accident, which has nothing to do with anything that we were talking about. But
We've got
there you go.
Jess Harnell, who also plays Toenail in this one. Jess Harnell is he's done a ton of voices. He was also in Animaniacs. He did some voices in Transformers and different things like that.
All American Girl. Did you ever see that show? Margaret Cho.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not a huge Margaret Cho fan.
Well, that's how that was her breakout was playing the role of grandmother Young Hee or Grandma Kim in the short-lived sitcom All American.
And then one of my favorites, Orlando Jones, is also in this. He's Kid
Orlando
Mookie.
Jones.
Orlando Jones has been in a buttload of stuff, but the first time I ever saw Orlando Jones, and I may have told this story before, he was picked as the guy who did a 7-Up commercial for the Super Bowl. Yep. And he would wear this T-shirt that says, what would it say? It was like, on the front of the shirt it says "Make 7." On the back of the shirt it says "Up yours."
Yeah.
And so he would walk around and he didn't understand why people were pissed off at him because the back of his shirt says "Up yours" the whole time. I just thought that was fantastic.
Well, he's one of the original. He's the original. Was it? How many was there? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He was one of the original 9 Mad TV hires when they first started.
Yes.
So he
was in Evolution with David Duchovny, and he was in the Time Machine, Drumline,
that's a good one.
Replacements. I mean, he's been in a ton of stuff. One of the best roles I thought he had was in American Gods. He was in that, which
that's
American
something
Gods
that
is an
I didn't
excellent
know
show.
here. Okay, so man, this is rabbit holes that have pertain nothing to King of the Hill whatsoever. But I didn't know that Mad TV was produced by Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
He bought the magazine and then started the show, which I didn't know that. So I mean, I thought that was interesting. Oh yeah, he also
didn't buy the magazine, did he?
Yeah, he bought the
He
rights.
bought Mad Magazine.
He bought
he
the
maybe
rights.
bought the rights to it.
He bought because Mad Magazine didn't have like an error where it died for a little bit.
Oh yeah, that and Cracked both.
Yeah, so I think that's what ended up happening. It kind of had like that little bloop where it died, and then he went and bought it. He went and bought the rights or whatever it was to it. But yeah, he definitely had a hand in that. But I really, the show that I remember him from was he was on a TV show. Oh, what's it called? Let me see if I can find it real fast. He was a recurring. I think it was him anyway. I want to say it was a TV show with Amanda Bynes and him. I could be wrong.
I'm completely lost on that one.
Yeah, I'm lost too. You know, he's in that Ghost Whisperer crap that you have to watch.
I did not ever call it crap.
Oh, sorry.
I want Jennifer Love Hewitt to understand that I never called it
He
crap.
never called it crap. He loves the show. It's his favorite show. He watches it twice a day. But yeah, no, he was in there. He was on that show.
So our next one is Hank's Dirty Laundry. We've got Billy West.
Yep.
Famous voice actor.
Billy West is pretty prolific as far as the voice acting.
And then we have Lynn Thigpen playing the judge. And Lynn Thigpen, she's passed now, but she's been in some big stuff. She was in The Warriors, the original one, Bicentennial Man, Anger Management, Lean on Me. I mean, she's done a lot of stuff. She was a very...
Oh, yeah. She was the one that was in Where in World is Carmen Sandiego, pretty heavy. Mm-hmm. And she played the Moon. And it's funny that... I get to discuss this because right now this was one of my wife's childhood shows that she liked, so she's been forcing it onto my, freshly born child. He's 9 months now, and my son is almost as old as the podcast.
Oh wow!
It was like because remember we were only in like beginning of season 1 when he was born.
Oh yeah.
But Bear in the Big Blue House is a show that my wife has been putting on every day for my son. And
it's not a bad
she does
show.
the Moon. It's really not. It's kind of weird though how the show starts out. I never even knew it started out like this.
It's not bad though.
But
it's
he
not
starts off
Teletubbies.
sniffing. He starts off sniffing,
yeah.
And then he goes, "Well, something smells good.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be you."
Yeah,
and that's when he starts off the show. And
then he eats that child.
And he says, "Oh, you smell so sweet," or whatever. He comes up with a different scent, like what you smell like for every episode. But she also did a huge. She played a big role in Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Where in the world is Carmen? All right, next one is Leanne Saga. Again, Joanna Gleason. We covered her already. One of my all-time favorites, though, Jennifer Coolidge as Ms. Kremser.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, she
prolific.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Did you see the SNL skit?
Yes.
Did you see the I don't know who did it. I don't know all the people's names either,
but Jennifer
it was great.
Jennifer
spot on.
Coolidge will always be Stifler's mom, and she will also always be the lady that owned the dogs in Best in Show.
I have to go back and watch some stuff of hers because
You want to see prime Jennifer Coolidge? Watch Best in Show.
Best in Show. I'll watch
Best in
that.
Show.
I was just really surprised about as much stuff as that she was in.
Oh, she's been in a
I
ton.
want everybody
And she's had like
to remember
a
this.
renaissance here lately too.
Oh yeah.
She's
She's
just
on that
everywhere.
new show or whatever.
Well, not only that, she's doing Old Navy commercials.
I think she did her memoirs recently too. That's why she's in pretty heavy. But everybody's got to remember, if it wasn't for her recurring role on King of the Hill, there's no telling where she would be.
Chloe Fineman is who played her in SNL.
Chloe
yeah, there you
Fineman.
go.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
job.
there you go.
Good job.
Appreciate that. Yeah, because I
She's
don't know
funny.
the name.
She does
the
good
Groundlings,
impressions.
She was a part of the Groundlings. I've never heard of them.
By the way, you've never heard of the Groundlings? Really?
Nah. Well, I knew they were like
they're like one of the seminal improv groups of all time.
Yeah. I know they were like a historical, and then I know that
Well, you talk about the Groundlings, you talk about Second City, and you talk about Upright Citizens Brigade. Those are like the ones. Those are the big ones.
See, I'd never heard of them. And looking at their list of alumni, I mean, Will Ferrell.
Oh, it's a buttload. Yeah, it's basically so Second City, Chicago. Groundlings is L.A.
Lisa Kudrow. See, I didn't know that Lisa Kudrow
Ton
participated in improv. Chris Parnell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maya Rudolph. I didn't know she did. I
they
didn't,
all
I didn't
came
know she
from
did
the
stuff
same
like that.
group. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, there you go.
Next one is Junkie Business. We have Bertilla Damas as Maria. We have Jim Dotrieve as Jason Adderley, and then we have Brent Forrester as Leon Petard. Leon.
Well,
Petard.
Bertilla, let's see here. She's a Cuban actress.
Mm-hmm. I think we've talked about her before.
Yeah. So it says here, so she began working in Spanish language theater while in college, and she was accepted to the Circle in the Square Theater in New York, which is a huge school there for theater actors. And she met someone named Terry Hayden, who got her interested in the actor studio.
Mm-hmm.
She worked on and off Broadway and then did regional theater. Her filmography is not very extensive. She was in Nothing But Trouble. Nothing But Trouble was the Dan Aykroyd one, right? Yeah.
Yes,
With
bad.
him and Chevy Chase. Yeah, terrible movie. Yeah, Demi Moore. She was in Fires Within, Mi Vida Loca. Movies, I haven't heard of any of her movies, but her TV, let's see what she did in TV. She was in some Deep Space Nine. She did a little bit of, let's see here, NYPD Blue. Again, she was a Maria Montalvo in King of the Hill, and she was customer number 2. So she does 4 episodes of King of the Hill. So she does play as Maria Montalvo in more than one episode, and then whoever customer number 2 is. She did a little bit of ER. Yeah, she's just one of those.
She's done a lot.
Faces you see in 4 or 5 episodes of this show, or 2 or 3 episodes of this show.
One of the last ones I said was Brent Forrester. He is a writer, producer, director. He worked on The Office. He also worked on the Ben Stiller Show, and then King of the Hill,
wow.
Space Force. I mean, he's worked on a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I see here that he wrote a bunch of Simpsons stuff too. He did a few episodes of The Simpsons.
He was also a contributing writer on Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Yeah. And then he co-wrote with Judd Apatow an episode for Undeclared.
Yeah,
which is, I think it's a Judd Apatow TV show.
It is. Yeah, it was about the same time as, I think, maybe right after Freaks and Geeks.
He wrote the merger episode.
Have you ever seen Freaks and Geeks?
I've seen Freaks and Geeks. I don't know how many times I've watched it.
Have you ever watched it, Mason? Have you ever watched Freaks and Geeks, this series?
Yeah, when I was younger. I thought it was okay.
It's a good show.
I think it's amazing because if you watch it, you look and you're like, okay, so this is where that person got their start. That person got their start. That person, like,
it is crazy seeing like what, a 20-year-old Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Seth, well, I don't even think he was 20. I think he was like 19. I think they were all like teenagers.
Young.
They were all just barely 18, 19.
James Franco.
Yeah, and I think that
Jonathan Daly.
The distancing of James Franco and Seth Rogen is insane. Like, the second that James Franco had allegations brought up against him, which turned out to be, moderately true, not allegations, like real stuff. It's crazy how quick, like, Seth Rogen and everybody distanced themselves from him, because Seth Rogen will no longer he will no longer work with James Franco.
He also worked on The Stupids with Tom Arnold.
Oh, Tom
Which
Arnold.
The Stupids is a ridiculous movie.
There is
but it is like his biggest thing. Like if you want to see top Tom Arnold, watch The Stupids.
Speaking of Tom Arnold, if you want a really, really good documentary to watch, go watch about Tom Arnold's sister. She was one of the largest methamphetamine dealers in the United States.
Oh, really?
I think it was Tom Arnold's sister, yeah.
You just said it like it was
I'm pretty sure it was Tom Arnold.
thing, and then you said you thought it was her.
No, it is. Yeah, it's Tom Arnold's sister. So it's called Queen of Meth. Her name is Lori Arnold. Yeah, Queen of Meth is what they called her. She was. They're from Iowa.
Yeah.
So in that part of the world, there's nothing to do. So she became a meth dealer.
Okay.
Yeah, she really did. She did 15 years in prison. She was arrested by the DEA. When they arrested her, they seized over $10 million in assets from her.
Wow.
Yeah.
We also had Jim Dotrieve, which
Jim
I mentioned,
Dotrieve,
and he is known
The namesake for Bill Dotrieve.
Well, he's known for King of the Hill. He's known for Bob's Burgers. He's done quite a bit of TV.
And the thing that he's most famous for these days
that's
is...
not even including The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Well, the thing that he's most famous for these days, Mike, is dropping bombshells on people like
true.
us.
That's
Because
true.
I actually am his friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm actually Jim Dotrieve's friend on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I've communicated with him once or twice. He drops literal bombs that blows people's minds. So the video that me and Mike discussed in one of our Friday episodes, the video of the real ending of King of the Hill, that little clip that we watched, he's the one that
he's the one
on
that said it was
Facebook.
out there. Yeah,
he's the one
that's
that put
right,
that
that's
out there.
Okay. So let's see if we can't get through the rest of these. We've got 3 more here. Life in the Fast Lane, Bobby's Saga. We have Tara Strong as Billy, which I don't know who Tara Strong is.
Harley Quinn. She's Harley Quinn.
Oh,
She's
is
Harley
she?
Quinn.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
she also
another
did
voice
Timmy.
actor.
She did Timmy.
She's done a lot. She's
Huge. Yeah, she
you've
is as
you've
far as
heard
voice
her.
acting.
If you've seen anything animated, you've heard her voice at least once.
Wow.
Yeah, so she did
In the last 20 years.
She has a filmography page that you have to click on. So she has a whole separate filmography page. So for her animation, she played Hello Kitty. She's done Hello Kitty's voice. She was like 4 or 5 characters in the Care Bears in the 80s. Patty Putty and the Garbage Pail Kids.
Patty Putty.
Chloe and Madeline. She played young Celeste in Babar. She was in Beetlejuice. Let's see more notable shows.
Who the heck was she in this episode?
Oh, in this episode?
It says Billy.
Billy, which is probably one of
The first kid,
Maybe.
Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, she's done a lot of stuff.
And then
She did Bubbles' voice in the Powerpuff Girls. She did some voices on Pepper Ann, Family Guy, Giggling Girl in Clerks, the animated series. She played in she done Wild Thornberries. One of the bigger ones that she's known for, of course, is The Fairly Odd Parents. She did Timmy Turner's voice. I'm trying to see some other big ones. She just did a lot of small stuff, a lot of one-off voices. I guess that's. Like I said, she's done so much. I'm not gonna sit here and list everything she's done.
The biggest one in this is Dale Earnhardt as himself, of course.
Dale Earnhardt,
Dale
Earnhardt.
Rest in peace.
If those of you who
Rest
don't know
in
who
peace.
Dale Earnhardt is, you don't watch NASCAR. So there you go. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring this full circle. So we were talking about Coco Bandicoot and the voice actor for Coco Bandicoot. Well, she also has voiced Coco Bandicoot. We talked about another voice actress a while ago that had done it. Well, there's a TV show called Skylanders Academy, and she voices. It's a Netflix show. She voices Coco Bandicoot in that.
All right, there you go. Now
So
we've got
there you
all the
go.
Coco Bandicoot information we could totally
Deep breath.
need.
Okay, so for her feature films, now she did Dill Pickles in the Rugrats movies in the 1998 and 2000, the Rugrats
there
in
you go.
Paris. So yeah, she's done a lot of stuff, guys. A lot of stuff.
Next one.
She played Cockknocker. Sorry, she played Cockknocker in
Cockknocker.
Jay and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie.
Hey,
She
by the
played
way,
Cockknocker in that.
Cockknocker. Next, Peggy's Turtle Song. Annie DeFranco as Emily. Do you know Annie DeFranco?
I'd have to I'm gonna have to look her up. I probably know who she is, but I couldn't name her just by her name. Annie DeFranco.
Annie DeFranco. Yep.
She's a singer songwriter.
She's a
Yeah,
singer
yeah.
songwriter.
I know you're talking about now.
She was Had some stuff in My Best Friend's Wedding, in the movie Lady Bird, which that was more recent and pretty big.
Isn't that the movie about LBJ's wife?
No.
No, that's the movie with Saoirse Ronan.
That's right.
You know about the
I got you.
depressed
job.
high school. Maybe not depressed. High school.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. And then we had Beth Grant as a nurse. Beth Grant was in Donnie Darko, No Country for Old Men. One of my favorites of all time, Little Miss Sunshine. She's been in quite a few things, and she played the nurse. And then once again, we had Maurice LaMarche as Gary and Tammy Wynette again as Tilly Hill.
Yeah, so there you go.
Tammy Wynette, reoccurring.
That's funny, though. So back to Annie DeFranco. In the Wikipedia, so Wikipedia gets knocked all the time because it's supposedly, quote-unquote, an unreliable source of information. But if you go down, it has a reference sheet. Well, on the reference sheet, there is a link that you can click on, and it takes you to a article about Annie DeFranco from 1998 on MTV News.
That is almost the end. The last one of that season is Propane Boom, of course, where Luann loses her hair and her boyfriend. And in that one, we have people that we've all covered, but Chuck Mangione as himself, of course, Joanna Gleason as operator, Jim Cummings as Mark McJimsey, and then once again, the prolific and lovely Jennifer Coolidge as Ms. Kresmer.
Awesome. So, yeah, like when you talk about people like Jim Cummings and Billy West and what was the lady's name we just discussed? Mason?
Tara Strong?
Tara Strong. Those are heavy. Like when you see their name on 1,000 different animated shows, it just shows that they're voice acting. They're voice acting elite, especially when you talk about Jim Cummings and Billy West and then Tara Strong.
Yeah, it's amazing when you start looking at these people's careers, how they have made a...
Jim Cummings especially. He has pretty
just how they've
prolific
made
career,
a career out of just speaking
Voices.
into a mic.
Well,
Yeah,
think about
it's amazing.
to me when I think about voice acting, I think about the Michael Jordan or the Tom Brady of voice acting. Mel Blanc.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one that always comes to my mind because he has over 90-something voices inside of him.
Well, not anymore.
Well, they're still inside of him.
Are they?
They're just
Is that how that works?
inside of him underground.
They
'cause
buried him with his voices?
Well, because this is what I was. This is what they do in paleontology. They take the throat and stuff from these dinosaurs, and they push air through it.
Sure.
To see what kind of sound the dinosaur would make.
Okay.
So if you got Mel Blanc and got his voice out of there, and you blew air through it, it would say, "What's up, Doc?"
I don't think that's the way it works. I don't think
You don't
that's
think
the
that's
way
how it
works.
works?
No, I
Oh.
don't think so. No.
Okay.
But it's a good try. I'd be willing to blow air through Mel Blanc's old windpipe, I guess. Well, that is
Manually or
that's
with a
all.
machine?
That's all we've got for this Friday. Rusty, tell them where they can find us.
Guys, you can find us at Linktree. So I started a Linktree. That way it kind of consolidates everything. So if you go to linktr.ee/BWAAA, that's 3 A's, KOTH, you'll find every link you need for us. Also, I'm still
Every
uploading.
link you didn't even know you needed.
Yeah, there's links on there you might not even know about. So if you didn't know, we do have a YouTube channel, and we have 300 plus views so far on that YouTube channel. So everybody that's went and found us on YouTube and is looking at us there, thank you, appreciate it. I'm still gonna have all the episodes uploaded. It's just taking a while. I want to personalize each one so it's unique to you guys, and that's just a uphill project. But I want to thank everybody again for continuing to watch us, and you can go over to roguemedianetwork.com to find more great podcasts as well as this podcast. And we'd love it if you would go check out some other podcasts too and help those guys out and give them some love. And go engage with them too. There's a lot of great podcasts on the network, and as the new year starts, there's a lot more projects to come out. There's one that you recently started, Mike, that me and my family have enjoyed, the Holiday Stories.
Really? You've been listening to Holiday Stories,
Yeah,
huh?
The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry, right?
Holiday
Yeah.
Stories, we've done that for 2 years running now. Every year around Thanksgiving, I start reading stories about Thanksgiving and then Christmas. Yeah,
we liked it.
That's cool. Great.
It was refreshing. It was something different that we got to enjoy over the holidays.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear it.
Well, because
Yeah.
my wife's an educator as well, so she
Yeah.
likes all those kind of things too. She
Yeah.
she listens to a lot of audio books, a lot of audio stuff.
Did she critique me?
She did not critique you. She listened to it with like full
That'd be
enjoyment.
super
She
cool,
really
though.
liked it. She really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Tell her anytime she wants to critique me, I'm open for it. So I'm good for it.
Well, she liked it. She enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it
That's
too.
cool. Good.
You being an educator for all those years, you have that tonal quality of an educator. So when you're listening to it, it wasn't boring.
And when I die, someone can blow through my larynx to get
Get
my
the
voice
holiday
back
stories.
out.
So if you
yeah,
want
see,
the
they won't
holiday
have to
stories,
do it because I record so much. So
oh, there you
it's
go.
already done.
So all we'll have
Somebody
to do is
made a
compile
point.
your voice into an AI.
I was talking to somebody the other day because I've started a new show where I talk to podcasters about their
Yeah,
podcasts.
I've seen that
right?
too. Yeah.
And the guy made the point that one of the reasons he does it is to chronicle what he was thinking and get creative stuff out there so that generations after him will know who he was.
That's
And
interesting.
that's a really good point.
That's
I thought,
interesting,
man,
yeah.
that's kind of cool.
That is
Because
kinda
I mean,
neat.
I could write stuff down for my kids and things like that, but until
This is a physical thing that our children can go back and actually
absolutely
listen to.
and they can hear what I was kind of into also, in my inflection and things like that. So it is a little
and
different.
they can hear you talking about them and stuff like that. How we mention our families
yeah,
on
sure.
here, so
Sure.
it is a cool thing, and
Yeah.
I kind of look at it that perspective too. We're leaving something behind that once it's on the internet is there for infinity.
we're
It's
leaving
always there.
We're leaving something behind that people want rather than what we've done before.
I think we should start trying to put this physically on cassettes, and then we should launch a cassette series.
Okay.
Bois the King of the Hill cassette series.
Yeah, let's do that. It's
Yeah.
We'll mail you a cassette.
Well, that's
Season
one thing
one
that
on
I
its
didn't.
way.
Well, that's one thing in
Columbia
I
House.
was doing research for a podcast I'm not even a part of, the Found Sound podcast.
Yeah.
I was doing research about cassettes, and
Yeah.
apparently the music industry has been propped up by the prison system in cassette making. So cassettes
yeah?
for popular music still exist. It's only just been phased out within the last 8 or 9 years in prisons, but for the last, you go back a decade in music, they're still on cassettes. They have a ton of music on cassettes because
Wow.
prisons didn't allow certain things.
Well, that
and
makes
cassettes
sense.
are see-through
Yeah.
kind of thing. So you had a see-through radio, a see-through tape. There's nothing that you can't hide your crack in your tape and smuggle crack into a prison facility with it or whatever. But it was a way for the prison system to still have access to music, and they sold tons of them because they sold them at a premium. You're paying triple in jail for that same cassette that you would pay, a few bucks for at a store.
You're paying $6 for a pack of ramen in prison too. I mean, that's because the corporations got you.
Yeah.
All right, so tell them where they can find us and how they can get us. I think you've already done that.
Yeah, again,
So I believe we're done.
hit us on Linktree, Bois KOTH. Head on over to Rogue Media Network, absorb all that.
Yeah.
Find something you like, find something you don't like, comment it, tell us what we could do better.
And we will be back next week with Season 3, Episode 10. And this is one of Mason's favorites, he told me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, coming up.
Yeah, it's the one where they become volunteer firefighters.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's the one I watched when I was supposed to have watched the other
you'll
one last
get,
week, so I
you'll
know
get-
about that one.
You'll get extra Mason sauce on this one.
It's a great episode, and again, that's an episode where it shows how much Hank really loves his friends.
Yeah.
And how
Well,
much
you
he
got
does
that
for him.
You got that to look forward to. We will see
Yep.
you next time, guys.
Wimatan, yay.
Wimatan, yo.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.